So as I was saying, I'm going to introduce the space science experiences that we have as part of the CESAR team. As this morning was introduced by IT, CESAR is an alliance among ISDEFE, the company I belong to, ESA and INTA. They are educational experiences. The space science experiences are educational experiences for primary, secondary, and university schools. The one for university we created during the last months with Marina and Sergio, and they are adapted to the Scholar CV for Spain and UK, following Agenda 2030. As already Rosa shown, this is the Agenda 2030, and we focus in quality in education, gender equality, a decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, because we are updating you with all the information from ESA and the latest news and the discoveries that we include in our materials. To reduce inequalities, I mean, the more that you learn, the more that you are competitive, let's say, and always talking about the need of partnerships, collaborations, as we were talking yesterday, and also within an environment of peace and justice and strong institutions. So what do we do with this? I mean, with these activities that we created, as we mentioned, this is aligned with the ESA research topic, as we will see in some minutes. Make use of real scientific data, as it was also mentioned by Naira and Rosa and Fraser and Gustavo during these days. It's very important to provide the real scientific data to the students so they can handle it and know how we work, so we can bridge the gap between the students and the professionals. We don't aim to be teachers, you are the teachers. We want to give you the tools so you can show your students how do we work in our scientific work. So these are some examples of teams that we have at ESAC and how do we work. So this is in the website, on the CESAR website, this is the entrance for the space science experiences. And as you see, we have two options. We have the space science experiences at ESAC that has been stopped due to the COVID-19. And there we had an ESAC tour around the facilities, as we were doing the other day, the virtual tour. It was the fast virtual tour, but we were doing around so we can show most of what we have here at ESAC to the students and explain the discoveries, the most important discoveries from ESA missions. So here you see, for example, SOHO, you see one of our antennas, and so we had these activities and we hope to resume them soon. As soon as possible for students from 7 to 18 years old. And apart from this tour, they were also being scientists for a day. When they were coming, each group was divided in two. One was doing the tour, and the other group was doing the scientific research tailored for the different ages. And then they were swapping. So we were having like 4 buses per week, around 300 students per week coming to ESAC. And we hope to resume this soon. But as we were saying, COVID arrived, and then we had to follow the restrictions that prevented students to come to ESAC, for example, and also us. So we were thinking within the team, the CESAR team, how could we do this? Because all our activities were, for the space science experiences, were tailored to have them on site, to guide them once that they were on site. So we wanted to have the ESAC tool, and we also wanted to have the experience of be a scientist at least for a day. So as we had to rethink about everything, we had to, what we were doing is we were also reformatting the material. So we were not only having the student's guide, but also the teacher's guide as the interactive activities have, as this morning was mentioned by IT, and also adding quite some material and quite some extra activities to each of the guides. What was a big effort, but it was worth it. So we divided in this pyramid. The methodology was divided in these phases. The first one is when you prepare yourself about what you know. We give you feedback about what is the sun, what do you know about Mars. We explained everything that we knew about the different topics that we were going to present later, and we were also explaining you all the discoveries made by ESA on those topics, on those parts of the universe. Then we had the phase 2, where we were asking the students, have you learned? Have you understood what we're explaining to you? And we were offering video calls. We are offering video calls. This is what is at the moment on, the Space and Experience Online. So if you see that your students didn't understood well any of the topics, also to have a real virtual tour with us and to explain what ESA does, we have video calls in the phase 2. Then we have the phase 3, where now you are prepared with your class, so you start the challenge. We offer you several challenges, as for example, it was done on Wednesday by Marina and on yesterday by Sergio. They were presenting one of the challenges that you can see in their guides. And finally, we had the phase 4. So as you see, this is the complete learning process, from remembering what you know, understanding new concepts, applying them and analyzing with real data and with astronomical software this data, evaluating what you have learned. Also, as it was shown yesterday by Sergio, the scientific processes what they are following, no? So at the end, they check whether the hypotheses were correct. So they evaluate what they have done. They double check with the hypothesis, and they create a scientific publication. So with this scientific publication, we, the CESAR team, we check all the publications, and then we provide awards for the classes. And this is what we did last year. And we will see some images later. So let's go slower. How does it work? I mean, when you, as a school, because teachers are the one that joined the CESAR website and decide to start a space science experience with their school. So once that you do this entrance, then we are here for you. And then what do we do is you contact us, sorry, through this link if you have any question about how to proceed. Otherwise, we will see how are you proceeding through the different phases, and we will also contact you. But usually the best way could be that you write us, and then we have a video call together, and then you tell us how is your class, how many students are going to perform this activity, what activity do you think that it is best for your students, and then we assess you how to do it, or we recommend you what activity to do with them. So this is a strategy made together by teachers and us, and you can contact us, as I said, through this email. So we can schedule a video call to check what is your situation at your school. Then we provide you with materials to be able to do that. So you will see that through the different phases, you will have the student's guide, the teacher's guide, many videos explaining the different parts of the guides, also how to use software, some web tools, so many things that we have delivered to you, and some also videos for the students to attract them to do this activity or to explain how to do this activity. And so you could feel comfortable to do this at school, because the space experience online are run by you, the teachers, in class. So we are supporting you. I mean, we are having video calls with you, with your class, giving you the materials, etc. But you are the ones that are guiding them at the moment, or through the whole experiences. So as I said, for that, these are the tools that we provide to you. Information on the web and explanatory videos explaining how to do that. Some short videos to explain the students what are the challenges that they are going to do. More explanation about the guide. Each of the activities are explained with a video tutorial or the software that they need to use. For example, here you have Stellarium, here you have ESA Sky, and also here we are providing a video call with the class remotely during the challenge. So we give you all the tools, and all together with the email in case you have some issue in the meantime. But we are here to support you. So the experience is run in parallel. So finally, we were able to have the ESAC virtual tour together with scientists for several days. Now you are scientists for several days. As we were rebuilding our material, now you have much more material to be able to do a scientific research. We have many activities, and you don't need to to follow all of them, because some of you only have a week to run the activity, others have the whole year, and then you dedicate 1 day per year. Yes, the videos are in Spanish and in English, everything, all the material is in Spanish and in English. And then this is, for example, we provide you some material to run the activity, but as I said, some of you were, I mean, for the primary school, some of you were decorating the whole class with these activities and extra activities. So you were explaining all the subjects, as Rosa was saying, all the subjects for the 8 years old kids using the space. Other ones were doing were together students from 13 years old to 18 years old. So the teachers divided the tools or the tasks to be done among the students. So one of them were, as you were saying, drawing. Other ones were using the extra information in the tablet. Other ones were programming a video game together with the information that we were doing with the materials. Also, you have the option to upload the material to the G Suite, so you can tell the students what part of the guide they need to do and what task at any specific moment. And another one, for example, like Marina, she was using this activity as one day per week. So they were doing a research and they were meeting with the teacher once per week, and then meeting themselves alone in groups, in working groups, as we recommend they to do the activity frequently to advance on that activity. So there are many options how you want to run this activity. We give you, as I said, all the materials, and we provide you also video calls and assessment with you and the class whenever you need it. And these were the pictures that I was telling you about the Space Science Experience Awards where we had politicians, where we have our science director giving the diplomas, where we have an explanation of the ESA, the ESA demonstration, let's say, or the ESA exposition that we have in the planetarium. So this was physically done in Madrid for students from Madrid, but as you will see, these are all the topics that we were having. We were having students and teachers for many parts of the world. And this was the first time that we were running this. Now, as I said, we are in the second edition. So this is open. I will tell you now how you can join if you didn't join yet. But this COVID also, as we were saying, brought the opportunity to open our material and the video calls and all this assessment worldwide, not only to Madrid. The topics that we have are different ones and are aligned with the ESA research topics. For example, space situation awareness. You know that we are observing the sun and the effect that it has on Earth because it's quite important. So the activity that we have two regarding the sun. This is the name of the activity, following sunspots, tailored for students from 12 to 14, because we match the concepts and the methodology with what at this age in the UK and in Spain, these are the main curriculums that we have, are taught in class. So we don't want to give you materials that you cannot use in class, but extra material, or even some teachers were saying that they were going to use this material to explain some of the topics that they needed to explain. So for all of the guides of the scientific challenge, we have scientific challenge, you have the student's guide. Once that you join the Spaces in Spanish, we give you the teacher's guide because we don't want to have this accessible, so also your students can access to that. So we give you the information once you join, and we support you if you need it. And as part of this material that at the moment are in PDF, we have web tools, so you can do the challenges in a more interesting way, in a more attractive way to the students. The data, as we were saying, is real scientific data, and in this case, this was collected by our Helios telescope, that is one of the solar telescope that we have at ESAC. It was mentioned this morning by Gaiti. And also, for each one of the activities, we have an introductory video for the students, like 2-3 minutes explaining them what do they need to do and why it's important that they solve this challenge. So we have a similar case for the solar storms. So as we saw in the video before, the sun from time to time is ejecting some material, and we have SOHO data. SOHO data is data collected by this satellite. That is, this is a model, but we have this satellite that is an ESA-NASA satellite working for more than 20 years observing the sun. So using this data, they can study how much time would it take for a coronal mass ejection to arrive to the Earth if it was in that direction. So they can study whether the speed is constant, etc., and learn a lot about the sun in advance. So phase one is to learn about the sun, and then they do the challenge. What else do we have? We have also, ESA is also, I mean, one of the main constellations is the Copernicus constellation. And we also have the small satellite. These are satellites observing the Earth to prevent for future catastrophes, as for example, is happening at the moment, unfortunately, in La Palma, or some desertifications or changes in the terrain, etc. So we have a guide. In this guide, we are using Copernicus data in the detailed Landsat data, that is, there are some satellites within the Copernicus constellation, and we observe this data in Google Earth, apart from many other activities that we have. What else do we have? We have also mission to the moon. So because ESA made a call for new astronauts, and there is a plan, as it was mentioned also at the beginning of this course, of having new people or living on the moon soon, no? At the end of these 20s, no? So you know that the Orion vehicle is at the moment under development. So the youngsters, because this is from 7 to 10 years old, they need to think how to plan a mission to the moon. So when should we launch? From where should we launch? Where should they land? And why? What do you need to bring with you? So all these things that you need to take into account when you design a mission is what the youngsters are doing. What else? We have, as it was mentioned also, the ESA Solar System Exploration. So we have two activities for Mars. One of them is called Does Mars Have Seasons? This activity is tailored for students from 12 to 15 years old. And there we have real data from Mars Express, from the VMC camera. That is a small camera on board Mars Express. It's sort of a webcam that is in a privileged place, and you can see the whole Mars in an image. So looking at the polar caps, we can see whether there is any variation between images, and whether we can predict the seasons of Mars if there are seasons. And also we have for the eldest, for the 15 to 18 years old, quite some research, because we give them some papers about what is known about Mars, some studies about the different epochs. And also we ask them to work in teams, and each one of the team has a goal. So because in ESA we work in teams, but we have, as here we have, for example, the Science Operations Center. That is what we have at ESAC. We also have ESTEC, that is where the spacecraft is tested mainly, and also there are the project managers like Jorge Vago is there. And we also have ESOC, that is the European Space Operations Centers, are the ones that control the orbit and the position of the satellite at the time. So we work in teams all together per mission, and depending on the task that they need to do to go to Mars, they will behave as if they were part of these teams. So as it was mentioned before, it's not only learning about Mars and what we can find them, but also about the way that we work and the different groups and also space careers in which they can work at. We have also how much is the mass of Jupiter, and there we use a stellarium to observe Jupiter and the 4 Galilean moons. From there, we derive what is the mass of the planet. And this is also quite nice. And as I said, we have again the student's guide, the teacher's guide, several videos, etc. for all of them. And then we have the explorers. We saw during this workshop information about ESA Sky, that as we were mentioning, you can use it for several ages. And depending on the age, you can just use the option of go to the next object in the universe for the youngsters, explore how are the different shapes, in this case of the galaxies, also learn about the structure of the universe and the different process depending on the different energy, and also to do a research. So this, you know how to do this. We already saw how to open ESA Sky. It's very easy on a tablet, on a phone, and then you can use it with the kids. And also we have for connected to the curricula, we have the secrets of the galaxies that we show with the galaxy list of galaxies made by ESA Sky, the different shapes, and try to so the students can create their own picture about how stars are, sorry, how galaxies are and whether they evolve from the lenticular shape to the elliptical one or the other way around. So they can, with this research at the end, they can get to know how Hubble did at the beginning of the 20th century. Also, we have the Revealing the Mystery of the Universe, that this activity is tailored from 15 to 18, and also the ones that were presented, as I was saying, by Marina and by Sergio. So you were explained a bit of this activity, and then you have the whole guide. As I said, the student's guide and the video are made available openly, and once that you register with us, that is free, you have the option as a teacher, we check that you're a teacher, to obtain also the teacher's guide and all the video tutorials, and also to have support from us if you want it. So these ones, the latest ones, are the ones also tailored for university students. How to join an online space science experience. This is our website, and here you can see CESAR.esa.int. So if you go there, you have here this option, and this is the icon for the space science experience. So you go to the two options, the on-site and the online. But we should focus at the moment on the online mainly because most of you are not from Madrid, and this is the one that we are offering at the moment to everybody. It is open. So you need to register. This is the first thing. You need to register yourself as a teacher. And once that you register yourself, we check the information and then we accept you. And once that you register is when you come here and you ask for a space science experience online. So let's do that together if I have the time. So I just type here cesar.esa.int. I'm going to put this in the chat so you can do together with me. And then, as I mentioned, you go for educators, or you come here and go to the Space Science Experience icon. This is the main page. So you come here to this icon, and then you come here to the online Space Science Experience. You click here on the superheroes because you are the superheroes. You are the ones that are guiding to your students through all this material that is mainly focused in space and astronomy, but also, as I was saying, it's explaining how we work on the daily life, and it's tailored to the curricula. So we have a short explanation about what we do here, and here there are the types of experiences that we offer. So as I said, depending on the age, you have one or another. This is the one that we were creating together with the NEO Center, the team from Marco Micheli, and we are about to release, hopefully the end of this year. And these are the ones that you can see. So this, I'm also going to put this in the chat so you can see. Once that you see the different options that we have is when you are asked to register. As I said, here you have the access to the student's guide and also to the video. It's a PDF file. Okay, it takes a while. But you don't have the access to the teacher's guide. And as I said, we don't want you to put it open because we want that you guide your students, that they don't find the answers that you are giving to them quickly. So I register myself here. So you register yourself and then you can log in. As I said, we check that those that are requesting an access are teachers because you put the information from your school or your university. And then once you log in, you have access to all the CESAR activities, all the ones that we have. And we are talking about space and experience online. So you will say enter this experience because you want to register anyone. As I do many tests, I have here the list of all of them, all the ones that I have been testing. But for you, if it's brand new, you will have start a new online activity. So then you can select here the language in which you want your activity, the ages. You can have others if they are university students or different group of students all together. You register yourself. Perfect. Thanks, Andreana. And then you can explain us if you want how is the group of your students, or it's not mandatory. No, this is an optional. And then you can choose any of the activities that we are offering that I was showing before. And you also say the number of students. These are the students that you're going to run yourself. So these are the groups that you will create. So you will create several groups from this number of students. So it's your decision. And then you will go to the next step. So let's say, for example, we're taking this in English and we're going to use this one. Yes, the information is okay. So let's start the adventure. So we are serving you through the web all the information, the teacher's guide that we were saying before, it was only available, the student's guide, and also the whole information of the scientific case. So we introduce you to the scientific case that you are going to perform. This is the short challenge that we are giving to you and your students. And you have the teacher's guide, the student's guide, and the quiz. So this website that in the past it was open as interactive activity, we now hide it so to be sure that only teachers are accessing to that. So as I said, I invite you to join the CESAR community. It's completely free. So you will have access to request these activities, and also we will inform you if we have any new teacher course or any new activity together that you may be interested in. So thanks a lot for your time, and if you have any question,